never thought I would walk into a mall and have such a totally different experience. And so they did the makeup, and I liked what they did. And then my hair was done in a totally different way. It just went from one positive experience to another. And I was very impressed that there weren't just 2 or 3 good pictures, but that almost every one was just excellent.
Oh my God, you guys, if you were alive in the 90s, having your pictures taken at glamour shots was it, okay? Here's some shots I got off the web from inside Sunland Park Mall. I would say that's one of our dying, almost dead malls, although you will see in a little bit there's some articles that they're trying to revive the mall and not let it just collapse for good. They've put some money into it and they're going to be doing some stuff. But that was the food court. This is another one of the anchors that they have and still have currently in the mall, which is Dillard's. We also have the same anchor pretty much in surrounding the other mall that I'll talk about later, which is Cielo Vista. As you can see here, this for me was the decline of an era when Chick-fil-A at Sunland Park Mall announced its closing at the beginning of 2019, in January of 2019. Sad because it was there since 1989. Here, this news article I saw on the web that I screenshot, just they hope to attract new visitors because people who are running the business in this mall, this mall is dying. What can I tell you? No one shops there. I've been there any time of the day, on Saturdays, on Sundays, in the middle of the day, and there's just no customers. I don't understand how these businesses can pay their rent each month. It's that bad. So here I am in the parking lot of Sunland Park Mall. You take a little gander to the left and to the right. You see that there's some cars, but this mall is dead. I can assure you, you will see in a good second. Some history about this mall. It was built in 1988, August 31st of 1988 to be more exact. It was named after the nearby Sunland Park racetrack in Sunland, New Mexico, which is like 10 minutes from the mall. It features 1 million square feet of retail space. Some of the past anchors in previous years have been Mervyn's, Sears, rest in peace, the Poplar, and Macy's, also recently rest in pieces, Macy's. As you can see here, this used to be a fully functional like fountain thing that you would walk over and there would be like, I think there was blue lights on it. It was really pretty. But, now this mall is not in use. I mean, look at this. There was a jewelry box here. I'm going to look into, as you go through this video, you'll see this mall has tons and tons of empty retail space. This is in the middle of the afternoon, you guys. This mall is so quiet, but as you can see, it has a major 80s aesthetics. This is the way it's looked all my life. Very little renovations. I think this is still an original floor from when the 90s. It came out in 88. This is exactly the same setup they've had. As you can see, there's not many people in this mall. Some babies crying. Yeah, they have an FYE. They have this J&M store. As you can see, it's got like some novelty stuff. FYE, last I heard, still holding on to life. There's the Dillards, the loyal anchor of the malls of El Paso. I don't know what it is with us and Dillards. More empty spaces. This mall is so sad, you guys. With the holidays coming up, there may be a little more traffic on the weekends as it gets closer and closer to Thanksgiving and Christmas. But this is pretty much how it is all the time. I turned to this part of the mall, and this whole section, dead. It's dead. It's like the only 2 anchors really in the store is Dillard's, and then that you saw right now, Star Western Wear. But look at all these empty retail spaces. This mall is, come on, look, there was Sears that's closed recently. That was closed this year of 2019 in this mall. Dead, you guys. dead. Like I said, it'll only be reanimated closer to the holidays, possibly. Just not much going on here. It is nice to, oh, rest in peace, Chick-fil-A. Rest in peace. I miss you. Even to honor this day, I did have some Chick-fil-A right now. Telephone. God, what are those? But here's me bobbling and walking through the mall on my way out. This mall really, I don't know what else they plan to do. I don't know if you saw in the video, but they do have, at the beginning there was like a backyard cinema or something like that, and there was like fake lawn with some white chairs. I assume they're going to be showing movies there, which I don't know. I don't know if that's even a good try, because we have another outside like mall thing that they built the last 5 years called the Fountains at Farrah, and they hold outdoor movies, but it's actually really cool. So I don't know how that, as you saw in the beginning, could even hold a candle to what the Fountains at Farrah are trying to do. But this mall is fun to walk through if you just want to walk, not really do too much window shopping, because as you see, there's a lot of empty spaces in this mall. A ton. Back in the day, even when I was a teenager in high school, this was not the mall you went to. You went to Cielo Vista because that was always the mall that had the most stuff happening, the most traffic. Stay there all day. This mall has never really been like that, although of course traffic back then was a little bit better, but we all knew the better mall was Cielo Vista, and it still is to this day. They have a Victoria's Secret here. Not too interested in that. Look at this piece of ancient artifact history. What was once here? Payphones, you guys.
Get to Montgomery Ward, your price cut headquarters. In rooms and more, all furniture is on sale. You'll save 20 to 50%. Plus, take an extra 10% off furniture, even on sale prices. You'll also get free delivery on premium mattress sets, like this Serta Perfect Sleeper Queen set for just $4.99. Then ask for 0 interest on big screen TVs, on select electronics, on appliances from Amana, GE, Maytag, and Whirlpool, and on premium mattress sets. Through Monday only at Montgomery Ward, your price cut headquarters.
Now we're at Cielo Vista Mall. I'm going to drive around the parking lot just a little bit to give you some background information before I go into the mall. Cielo Vista Mall opened in October of 1974. It is owned and still owned and operated by Simon Property Group. Back in the day, some of the main anchors that have come and gone are Foley's, Joskis, I think it's Joskis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Good old Montgomery Ward, as you saw the little commercial right now at the beginning of this video. Rhodes and Liberty House. Today, our anchors are again Dillard's, good old Dillard's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Sears. Oddly enough, all these stores, except for exception of probably Dillard's, have been in financial trouble lately, but somehow at this mall it is able to withstand the test of time, just financially, traffic wise. We get a lot of shoppers at this mall from Mexico. They come here a lot. This mall is packed, opening, morning, day, close. Weekends are even worse. Right now it was already pretty crowded, like if there was a pretty good amount of traffic. So this mall is the center of all malls in our town. Roles of malls. Back in the day, I don't know if you've seen movies like Mallrats, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, movies in the 80s and 90s. Where's the place where teenagers, in those days would hang out with? Well, they would go to the mall. That's where they would go. There's a bunch of reasons why, and I've looked this up, why malls are dying in this day and age. Malls they started in the 50s, 60s, 70s. It was where people could go. Besides downtown, the downtown area was just getting too packed with cars and people and trouble with parking. So they invented malls to have another place where people could congregate, get all your shopping done in one place, and also be a nice place to hang out for entertainment post or after your errands. In the 90s is when mall development started to dwindle. It's when they stopped really making that. I mean, they made a lot of malls. If you check out YouTube, look up channels like Dan Bell, Ace's Adventures, Retail Archaeology, they all give history lessons and their opinions on some of these malls that are dying and others that are just completely abandoned. There was a lot of money put into malls, as you saw in the previous clip, Sunland Park Mall. That's a very big mall. Like I said, 1 million square feet of retail room to have stores in. But as you saw, there's no one left. Mall culture, the rise and fall. It does seem like a rotation, rise and fall. The fall of mom and pop shops gave rise to the malls. They took their business away. And now, if you've noticed, strangely, there's a lot of renewed interest in art markets and local artisan things and shop local, homegrown. We're trying to keep it real now, right? So that's part of why retail mall culture is kind of dying a little bit, trying to get more towards custom, individualized shopping. Also, the fall of mall, oversaturated market. Like I said, in the 70s to the 80s, 90s, up until maybe like the early 2000s, that's when like the last malls were built. But during those times, lots of them were built, and they were very large and extravagant. Shifting of wealth, middle class maybe is not so strong as it used to be. The inflation has gone up so much, but how about people's salary? Not so much. That's an argued topic, but that is one of the reasons why the fall of the malls is happening. Also, less households that have that many kids, you know. A lot of people these days don't have that many kids. Culture of the children is shifting. I do have a video further down in my channel where we're talking about the end of another era, which was the Vans Warped Tour. Kids, they just don't go out anymore. You can connect in the comfort of your own home to people across the world and socialize that way. You don't have to go to the mall anymore to try and pick up a date or shop for presents. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff has changed. You know, we're homebodies now. We're hermits. What can I say? But with the exception of this mall, like I said, Cielo Vista Mall is always packed. This is an example of a thriving mall. And this here, when I'm visiting, it's like 1 o'clock hour during the week on a Tuesday. On the weekend, I would not be able to drive through this parking lot the way I am here. It is even more packed than this. Holiday time, they rent cherry pickers, and there's security that go high rise and they watch people's cars. A lot of vandalism, accidents. I mean, people go nuts. This mall is still so popular. It's really strange. We do have another mall that I didn't want to talk about, and that's Bassett Place, and that's kind of in the middle. But as you can see here, this is that Macy's part that I just panned on the left side. That used to be Montgomery Ward, and outside in the parking lot was like a tire and lube service that Montgomery Ward used to have too, long ago.